you won't need it to stay warm. You're so afraid of my affections, you could drown in your own storm. There's no need for reservation, no one else can see. After some examination, man, I think that you've got what I need. It's really alright. It's really alright. It's really alright if you don't love me. What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me?
Now what happened to the camera? Okay, my head's cut off again. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Move that back a bit. That helps. La-di-da, la-di-da. Not enough. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that is weird. I didn't even touch this to my hands. It's just going to be one of those days, I guess.
Fascinating, I guess.
Well, I'm not really sure what happened. The whole thing crashed right after I got everything set up, so we're back. Once Streamlabs went down, it froze my whole system. I had to start all over, and I didn't want to start over. It's really annoying, but it's really encouraging me to invest in that CAD. Okay, so this is what we did yesterday. This is the completed project almost. I stuffed it with a couple of my stocks to give it its shape, but we didn't look on the inside, did we? Or did we? You know, because I looked inside, I said, you know, the silk in there looks really nice. Maybe we should take a look at that. Yeah, you know, I think I like this side better. It's got more color. More the silk. Oh, yeah, this bit of silk right down the center there. Yeah, looks like actually it was supposed to be turned inside out, and I didn't do that. Very likely. Okay, so although this is adorable, or this is cute, the problem inherent with this is it's made of all fine wool except for a little bit of Corriedale, and it's just too fine for structural kinds of things. So for me to make this hold its shape would require a lot of starch. And eventually I will do that, but I don't feel like playing with starch today because I've got another project for today. Put that up there. That's so cute. So it did come out. I mean, it's cute. A handful of wool, right? Oops. So second time it's been down here today. Okay. Stay there. Okay, so what I have here is a piece of chiffon, and you can see through it, which is a good sign for felting. Now, Nuno felting, which is the combination of wool and silk, is usually just reserved for pure silk because it takes an effort, but it's also used with synthetics because what's really going on is the wool is connecting through this, and we're going to do an experiment today in preparation of a couple of pieces that I ordered made out of pretty much the same material, and I bought them specifically to felt. So I happen to have this one handy. It's white. And I'm going to do this one because if it comes out the way I'm hoping, it's going to bode very well for the other projects. So what we do is we have to lay the stuff out first, put the fabric over that, and then another layer of this on top. And I decided that I want this to be a spiral, because my first idea is to cover the shirt that I got with gold spirals. Now I would love for the gold to be actually a different yellow. I only have these two. Now this is definitely fun enough to go through this. This is a 19 micron wool, super fine. I think one other thing I have, that sliver I bought with the silk blended into it, I think that's also super fine. Okay. So let's see. There's a word for doing this when you're stretching out the fiber. Well, you do this if you're going to spin it. Probably a little bit more efficiently than I'm doing. I want to get it really thin so it's a bit more likely to felt. Well, it'll felt either way. It's real wool, but I want it really thin so it'll go up and down and up. So they start exchanging fibers and locking in place. Now my first silk attempt, I only did one side, and it did stick, except for one area where I didn't felt it long enough. And it came out looking pretty cool. I kept it as a sample. Now that was, in that case, pure silk. But that silk, I don't think was really any finer than this. And the reason for the two yellows is I want the colors to merge to give me a unique blend. I think we're gonna go ahead and I don't know how I'm gonna make it stay exactly in place. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and put this in. Right. And let's get our shot here. Now the water I'm using, I always use purified water. Even though it's gonna get washed out, I don't want to add any more chemicals, you know, from the city water. I don't know how they will make the fibers react. This is a lot of chlorine and other chemistry. All right. Don't go there. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to get the whole skein of both. Just this. Okay, now for the top color. And this. Looks like it's going to be a different kind of a challenge. Different staple length. Different kind of length. To here. Now, I'd probably be a lot faster at this if I spent more time spinning the bowl, which I haven't done in years. And then it was a complete amateur. Because I don't knit or crochet, I'm so bad with those arts. Just why I'm so excited about this. Even a fabric klutzy person like me can do this. Getting out of sorts here. Stay put. Enthused. Get this set up. I need help. What do you need help with, sweetie? I am making a Nuno silk scarf, so this is an experiment, but what's going on? This is a fake silk. This is real wool. I'll play, you talk. We have no air under there. I made myself a cup of peppermint tea for this rainy day. I would have loved a cup of coffee, but caffeine is late. It would be problematic like it was last night. Okay, so this is a decoration for a scarf. It's on the scarf right now. I'm going to make it part of the scarf. And to do that, we use a process called felting. And the modern process of doing that on silk fabric, because you can do it on gauze as well, is called Nuno felting. It's It's a fairly modern technique for just adding embellishments and comfort and warmth. And I have no place for my glasses. Stay there for a minute. Okay, so how it works. Soap and water. That is soaking. Not too much water. It'll make everything float away. The principle is that you layer your scarf in between the layers of the wool, and they migrate. The fibers migrate back and forth through the fiber, the scarf, and the piece of material, and become as one. Also, as the wool shrinks, it puckers. It pulls the fabric together. One of the ways you know if you're succeeding at what you're doing. And you end up with a unique item. Or as I call it, wearable art. Now going with a spiral is kind of natural for me for some reason. Since I moved into this building, spirals have been part of my artistic themes. Started with paintings, impulsive paintings, and gold leaf, a lot of gold leaf. So when I had to decide on a pattern or what to do on fabric, it's kind of a natural. Let's do a bunch of spirals. We're starting with one because it's big. And I want to see how much this fabric is going to pucker with the design. And after I get one thing attached, I can continue adding, which is the intention, making more spirals. Now, you see I'm working on bubble wrap, but the bubbles are down. We're working on the flat side because this is so fine a fiber that it will just channel itself into between the bubbles and it'll ruin the whole process. So we have to do it a little slower this way, but it's the only way to maintain the actual design. Just want to see if we're making any indents in there yet. Nope. Now, if you're just watching somebody do this, is kind of boring, really. Fast forward. Of course, if you're talking while you're doing it, or it's not boring at all. Also, I can feel it, and there is a kind of a pleasure in it. It's very soft, very smooth. Let's see, it's still pulling up, so we're not going to lift that yet. Now, what has happened in the past, I have had some of it migrate upward through this. So that's why I'd like to check it. As I see some black threads underneath here. There they are. I really don't want those to be part of my design. And it's really weird how sometimes you don't see the black hairs in the wool until you've already been like wetting it down. It's like, oh, it's another black sheep. Little fiber from the sheep. Okay, it's hard to tell yet, but yes, it is felting. It does have a way to go though. This looks like it spread out a little bit. We're getting kind of an aura there. So massage it that way. Where is all this coming from? Is it from you? Let me go rinse this out just in case it is. I do need my glasses. Oh yeah. I'm gonna carry you. Definitely black wool. Probably from the last project. So we definitely need to fix that issue. I will do that by getting a fresh piece of chiffon. So we don't end up really making a terrible mess of it. Okay. Just dropped it, went right back on it. Okay. Yeah, that went right through. Well, good. It is knitting, but the wrong thing. So let's get rid of this. All right. I do not need a huge piece. I'll have jagged edges, but this is not a critical thing and I'm not wearing this, so. Oh, come on. What did I just do? I'm over here making a mess of this part. You'll see in a second. Okay. This will work much better. Actually, I'm going to cut this in half because I really don't need all of this draped all over the table. Oh, I wish I had those nice big scissors they used to cut fabric at fabric stores. And a table and measure like they have. Okay, no loose hairs on this one. We can go back to work. Now, I noticed when I was pulling this part that I had one, literally one orange hair in it. And I let it stay and figured, well, let's see where the highlight ends up. And it ended up right at the very tip here. Which we're going to leave because I like the contrast. Learning how to work on your own clothes is such a valuable skill set. There's so many different things you can do to update your wardrobe, add some flair to it, make it original. I mean, why look like everybody else? I never understood that as a kid when teenagers who felt they needed to look like their best friends and all that. Now, I got it. You know, we would call each other in the morning. What are you wearing today? I'm going to wear green. Okay, I'll wear green too. It was just a thing girls did for a little while. But some people took that into adulthood, I guess. I don't know, I just never got. I had 3 younger sisters, and I never wanted to dress like them. But inevitably, we were dressed like each other too often until I finally grew out of the little girl clothes sizes, you know. My mother made it easy for herself. She would just pick out a dress and tell the people in the store, okay, I need this dress in those 3 sizes. She said it was so we wouldn't argue. It was just she was lazy and didn't want to spend that kind of time in the store having us little girls make choices for ourselves. I was very vocal though as a child because she used to come to me with her problems. So I was the one that finally was able to get my own look. It wasn't always what I wanted, but at least I didn't look like my 3 little sisters. Now I go look at clothes in stores and go, I could improve that if I knew how to sew. Starting to feel like it's bulking up a little bit. That's what we want. But I'm still not seeing any real puckering in the fabric. So we're not done. Now, some people use a sander without the sandpaper on it, of course, to vibrate the fibers a little faster than this action does. And when you're doing this for a long time, you can see their side of it. I really wanted to get away without using any tools. The object being to teach people how to use their hands. It is, first of all, a really good thing mentally to get physically involved with something. But also we are not helping the planet or ourselves when we buy fast fashion. And I understand the temptation. I am wearing a product of fast fashion because it was the only thing in my price range. And I can sew. Now I'm kind of stuck with that. A lot of us are. We're just not talented in some areas. But there are different things we can use and different things we can try, this being one of the examples. Although this takes some time and patience, it gives you so much creative room to make things for yourself. You can pick out colors that genuinely match your skin tones or that you really enjoy looking at. You don't have to settle for whatever's available on the rack or on Temu. If I had discovered this when I was a teenager, oh, I would have jumped in with both feet and hands. But they didn't know it. I mean, they knew where felting was, they knew how to do felting, but it was an arduous process, usually done by strong men who, in some cases, went a little nuts, destroying themselves with the use of mercury going through their skin. But now we've learned that you can make hats using steam, like your steam iron, using wooden molds or flat plastic. Like this was just done with a flat disc of plastic. Mylar, I mean, you know, just actually the same stuff I use on my floor to protect it from paint. So there's so much room. Uh-oh. Okay, we have a problem right there. This shifted way offline. But as you see, has not adhered yet, so we have opportunity to move it. But you know what? I don't like this. After spreading, and we don't need the look. So we're gonna get rid of it. And again, you can make the creative choice for yourself. And not be stuck with what's being offered to the rest of the world. One of the first things I started doing was making purses to match the dresses that I got that have no pockets. So the red, that looks like silk. And this leader's a little too long. Now, one of the cool things I've seen done with like needle felting is repairing sweaters. Take a little stain or a hole, you can felt over it, create something entirely new. And again, something that another soul has because you're an original. Hey, don't get difficult. Okay, we're starting to see some felting happen, which is why we're doing the shrinkage, which is the desired effect. So this whole thing should kind of get puckery. Some of the black. There we go. One of the wools that I used in yesterday's project contains some of the dark gray to black right there. And apparently some of that remained around the neighborhood. Now I see one of the yellow threads through. That's a good sign. It's coming up through the net. Now there is a wonderful AI artist. I'm not sure if it's, well, it looks like it's a whole team, but you can never tell. It's called Surreal AI. They're here on YouTube, of course. And if you do a search for elderly fashion dance, it's mind-blowing. I love the music and the rhythm, but what they did, excuse me, in their interpretation of fabric, I mean, they're just amazing designs. They draw heavily from nature, and a lot of the stuff that they show looks felted. Now, of course, it's all AI, it's all drawn, but it's one of the best artistic pieces I've seen since this whole rage began. And the music, of course, is excellent. So I'm impressed, and I bought the 2 songs that are featured in that video. Actually, I didn't buy them. I bought the right to play them without it being on YouTube. I haven't downloaded them yet, though. What is that? I think that's going to wash it out. Little teeny fragments that are definitely black. I don't even know what that's coming from. Well, if it's from this, it should wash right out because it doesn't have any hooks to get enmeshed in the wool. I see messages. Mr. Gary. Gotta get your hand really dry and free of soap before you pick up a cup that's full of very hot liquid. Oh, okay. Back here. I want to use something else to rub where my hands are starting to feel like.
No, don't do that anymore.
It's the net. The wool is fine, but you know, the net is a little too much. So let's try the old-fashioned way. No, don't do that. Oh. I'm supposed to go through the fabric and I'll come back up. You, I just want to stay flat. Uh-oh. All right, we are definitely getting shrinkage now. You can start to see this getting puckery in between. That's the idea. But I need to do this. There we go. Not again. Aloha. How are you, man? How's the coffee? It's raining here. I am delighted. Don't have to go out there and water any plants today. Can spare a few days. No coffee yet. It's 9 a.m. for you, isn't it? Oh, you don't have mornings like that. That's how come sometimes I have breakfast at noon. Just now sat down. Oh my goodness, yeah, you have been on the move. I hope all good things. Ah, yeah. Okay, no, it's not felted yet. Let's see where the pale yellow is acting almost like a halo to this, but it's not coming up enough here. And then more to go. Doing this and that, going here and there. Oh, well, I have to tell you, I did think of you around 10:30 last night when I made a 3-2-1 chocolate cake in my cup. I used the measuring cup because it's Pyrex and you can watch it rise. So 3 tablespoons of cake batter, dry, 2 tablespoons of water. Mix really well. Make sure it's not dry on the bottom of the cup. Nuke it for 1 minute. Oh my God. It is a light, fluffy, spongy, hot cake. If only I had some whipped cream to drop on top. Ah, one of those days. Half moon. It was. It was joy in a cup. And what's really cool is I've got more mix. The next one I want to try though, I have almond cake. Creamy almond is the flavor. I also have some marzipan. So I was thinking of dropping a ball of marzipan, which is just pure almond paste on the bottom. And then, right after I mix it all up, possibly even a few chocolate chips. Now, I have done the chocolate chips before. It's like getting a lava cake when you take it out. You got the melted stuff in the middle toward the bottom, and oh, so good. But again, the most important thing about that is it's ready in less than 2 minutes of activity. 1 minute to mix it up, measure and mix, 1 minute to nuke. Oh my goodness, so how is she? Good thing you didn't have your coffee before you went home. No. Was she waiting for you?
I like to watch to see where you are.
So if I see you and I can get close to you fast enough, I can say hello in person. Find out what you're doing. Yes, exactly. I'd be surprised if she didn't have binoculars too, like Mrs. Kravitz. People like that should get in the fortune telling business, eh? I see and hear all. And I'll tell you when you cross my palm with silver. She gossips for free, so. Just going into my place, and she headed into the hallway. How many days were you able to go without bumping into her? All right, roll it on up. This time it's going to have a little bit of the bubbles helping it. Only one day in a year.
I'll just stand next to the door until I hear activities, and I'll be out like that.
You know what popped into my algae today? Jack LaLanne. I love when it happens because then you suddenly remember all the TV shows you watched when you were a little kid. Apparently, I had a lot of crushes when I was 3. I wanted to marry Danny Kaye, Dr. Kildare, Mighty Mouse. I really wanted to marry Mighty Mouse. He was my first love. And Johnny Weissmuller. Oh my God. What a hunk. I recognized that even as a little kid. Like,
Who's that?
Tarzan. Ooh. I know, isn't that funny? I think he was a short guy. He still looked 4 feet tall. Well, maybe 5 feet. Yeah, he definitely looked more like woman size. Also, he was very slender, you know. Now, when he was around, my dad agreed with him. My father was into calisthenics, and he did exercises every morning, just on his own. But that's probably what kept him alive. But he still died at 53 because he stopped exercising completely. He got depressed, and that wasn't a good thing. I know it didn't. Oh, I saw, the camera angles. I think that had a lot to do with it. But also, that was not a big deal back then. You remember, every leading man was a shrimp. Almost every. Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner. He was a short guy. Take a look at him dancing in The King and I. And he and the woman he's Deborah Carroll are very close in height. It wasn't a big deal. The only thing that mattered in Hollywood was that the man be taller than the woman, unless it was part of a plot or amusing. Wasn't Katharine Hepburn taller than Spencer Tracy? Or was I mistaken about that? See, Spencer was another guy he always looked short to me. But again, I never thought about things like that. My father was only 5'10", but he was like a god, you know? He grew up looking up. Didn't matter. All he had to do was be taller than me, and I'm looking up. Well, let's find out. How tall was Jack LaLanne? 5'6". Despite his compact build, his strength and endurance were legendary, allowing him to pull off incredible feats of physical endurance well into his later years. Godfather of fitness, weighed around 150 pounds, 28 to 30 inch. His waist was smaller than mine. How tall was Johnny Weissmuller? Oh, well, he was a giant, 6'3". Olympian. I loved him as Tarzan. How often back then did we get to see a man without a shirt? Didn't. Now they're just rude and don't put their shirts on at all. Now, inside your own home, you have the right to be naked as a daybird. But outside, men are allowed to take their shirts off and women aren't. Which is hardly fair. We have more on our chest to sweat. All right, we're gonna roll it up again. I think. I need to see more puckering. Need proof it's really going through the fabric. It's harder to do when we're doing it this way. See, this is why I don't want to do the 100-year-old scarf on my desk. You end up with the excess stuff getting thrown all over the place, and that scarf will not put up with any of that. It did? Well, I don't know what you're looking at, but a warrant, it's not on mainstream TV. I did not grow up with that at all. Now, in Sweden, it's just a body, and they don't make such a big deal about it, where the prudes of America do. Gotta remember, we come from Victorian assholes. Not all of us, thank God. But all those annoying Puritans, the party poopers, they came from the Victorians with a million rules about every behavior. And not too many of them all that really sane. They had weird rules for weird reasons. And I had no idea that King and I went into kind of a weekly series. It was a Broadway show. You're not felting right. It's important to note how long this takes to do because I'm talking about doing an entire top, not just directors test what they can get away with. Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, they want a buzz. The only way they can get attention is by creating some kind of a buzz about the movie. I just don't see most actors being willing to show a real penis. In fact, they do have fake penises that they have to wear. And I know that, fake asses, they have to have something between their skin and the camera. No, I've seen bare penises in porn at drive-ins. Like, they put that on the big screen. Holy shit. That's big on the big screen. You see everything. I found myself blushing. I was so embarrassed by some stuff. It's not how I was raised. Yeah, remember, I come from a generation that used the word cocky duty. Where are you? That doesn't look good. Come back here. It's more like it. Well, this explains why they use things to accelerate the felting process. Because the Nuno felting obviously is taking way longer than normal felting. Getting wool to migrate. Now also, what might be impeding my progress is that I made this one long fiber by stretching it out instead of pulling it out and laying it down. So I have a feeling if I pull it out in little wisps and lay them down, it'll be easier for them to migrate to the other side. But you can see a little bit here where you start to see the puckers between here. That's a good sign. That's not. You migrated a little too far. There you go. Okay, let's try fastening that back down. Might have been a foolish move on my part. Okay. What's it gonna do? Which way? Yeah, didn't Game of Thrones, wasn't that on like mainstream TV? I didn't watch it. I don't like violence. But didn't they have people doing it? Gary, welcome back. So you liked the movie? You had a good day yesterday? Piano. One male shoulder. One male. I'm sorry. One male stood in front of the camera, fully nude, arms wide open, moving side to side. Oh my goodness. I guess that was rated X. I definitely did not see that. Actually, the last time I was in the theater was seriously when Batman met Catwoman. That was the last movie I saw on the big screen. Wow. Well, was he at least handsomely endowed? Or handsome? Or was it just let's see what we can get away with? There's nothing clever or artistic or particularly sexy about it. Rated R. Boy, times have changed. You saw Game of Thrones, didn't you? Is it? I haven't seen it. I understand there was nudity involved. And I don't have a problem with it. I think that we should have more natural approaches to our bodies. We should not be shamed. But the way people interpret things, their fears about it, they kind of make it hard to learn anything. Well, there you go. I'm not interested in seeing naked women. I mean, why would I be? I'm not gay. And I think the human body is beautiful, especially women's bodies. But that doesn't mean I want to see them naked. I love fashion. I love clothing. I like seeing how those bodies wear clothing. That doesn't mean I want to see them naked. I mean, you need to see what the body looks like if you're going to learn to be an artist and do figure painting or fashion design. You need to know how the body moves, all the muscle structures, all of that, if you want to be good at your job. But aside from art, that's like classical paintings, Yeah, they didn't have the same hang-ups that we have, so you see naked boobs and stuff. Gotcha, Game of Thrones. That was well, I thought there was a lot of it, so it probably was built that way. No matter when you come on, we will show you something naked. This is tiring. Oh, this is how yesterday's vessel came out. Adorable. It doesn't weigh anything really. I have to weigh this in grams. I don't even know. I don't think this is a whole ounce. After it's saturated with starch, it'll weigh more. It's too fine a fiber. It's not going to hold its shape all that well without starch. That could look pretty cool too. Huh. I love felt. Put a little fake flower in there. Game of Thrones? Oh, I understand it's extremely violent. I mean, there's one that's just nothing but blood. A lot of blood. A lot of murder, poisoning, betrayals, cutting off of genitals, sending them to people. Yeah. That's what it sounded like. It's like, and you know where I learned most of it from? South Park. They did their own version of Game of Thrones having to do with the release of Xbox and PS1 all at the same time, and the Battle Royale. And they recreated their version of the Red Wedding, which is a very a bloodbath, basically. And it's like, yeah, I don't think it would be good for your spirit to see something like that, Gary. There's lots of other ways to see naked men, good-looking naked men. Some stuff is just, why do you do this? Hey, stay down. Getting more puckering. Not as much as I was hoping by now. I have a few South Park games. I never played a South Park game, but I used to watch it all the time. And then, I don't know, year 12, 10, something in there, I got bored. Also, I just didn't have access. The only way I can watch it is if I buy the season, because I don't have TV. And I did not feel at that point the characters were worth investing in. So, well, I own the first 10 seasons, first 12 seasons, something like that. Some special stuff like special butter episodes. The guys are brilliant, and I would not mind owning the more recent season or two because they're brutal, but not right now. You know. I love my comedy. And that's the only thing I will invest in. So what did you see yesterday? Toy Story 2? I mean, what story? What did you see? I'm just walking on the street. Yeah.
Oh, everybody can do him.
Which one, Doc, is crazy? South Park or Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones, they had a famous actress walk down the middle of the street naked. Of course, they're punishing her and shaming her for that. Was that it?
I used to do Idaho. Everybody be good to each other.
I don't remember all of the little catchphrases. I haven't imitated anybody from South Park in years, but I used to be okay. I couldn't do the men's voices like Stan, but I could do the boys, a couple of the boys.
I knew something today.
5, and it was not my favorite. Oh yeah? Okay, so 5 is the newest one, right? And it wasn't your favorite. That's interesting. I thought, well, you know, when the actors go out to promote the movie, it's always got to be their favorite. I think Tom Hanks may have suggested that Story 5 was his favorite, but that doesn't mean anything, really. Although I like Tom Hanks. They've been a favorite one for him to do. Now, does he play that cowboy dude? One's always yellow and red. Yeah? 3 and 4. Good to know. Although I haven't seen any of them, so I guess I would have to start with number 1. But I'm assuming that they've all been good up to now, because otherwise they would not put that kind of money into more of the same. Oh, right. There we go. No, no, get out of the water. Not your favorite. Ah, interesting. So the toys are feeling rejected.
Ooh, that looks nice and foamy.
Well, I saw that happening back when Glenn and I got divorced. What was that, 2016? I went to visit our neighbor across the street and she was babysitting one of her granddaughters. This kid is like 3 years old and she's got a phone. It's not set to make calls. It's set to play a couple of games. This little 3-year-old is playing a cupcake decorating game made for 3-year-olds. It's all sexual. There might be that component, I've got no clue. But why do you see it all as sexual? Because I've never heard that. No one's ever mentioned that kind of a thing before. Woody is feeling rejected. Always at an old antique shop, a few crazy dolls. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is not felting the way I'm hoping. The silk I worked with felted faster. Okay. Some of it felted apparently a little bit because we started getting some puckering, but this is not doing what it's supposed to. So Woody was feeling rejected. Sounds like a personal problem. Yeah, look at that. I bet I could peel this right off, which should not be possible at this point. All right, we're gonna try one last. Desperate. I might destroy it in the attempt, but we're gonna give a shot because I'm ready to just take it off and start over using teeny wisps. Because I think I put too much fiber and it just is not ready to merge when it's that thick. Okay. If they clearly say shit repeatedly because a toy was a toilet paper roll message. Huh? Wait a second. Shit repeatedly because a toy was a toilet paper roll. A toilet paper roll message game. I lost some of that, but that's funny. Yeah. Well, I think it would be more charming if people were looking more toward indies, because the major studios are major manipulators of money and people. And I think the whole industry has been bought and paid for. And I feel more protective over it because I'd like to see most actors be able to make a living and be well paid for their work. After all, I was a musician, I was a songwriter. I get it. If you're doing your craft, it's really hard to get jobs that pay. But The people there now, so many of them, and have been for years, they're sexual predators. They're not good people. And that includes a few of the actors. So I'd have a hard time working with any of those people. When I was thinking of turning Namaris into a script instead of a novel, well, rather, I already had the novel, I was going to turn it into a script, see if I could pitch it as a movie. I realized who I would have to pitch it to. And I've had a little birdie already inform me about the lack of morals with some of the people that I would have had to do with just to get my script read. And it was like, you know what? I wanted to get rid of that when I was a musician and having a gig, and people were always trying to get work for free. And, you know, the way they like to audition young ladies for every job from cashier to actual entertainment for their stage. So I abandoned that idea. Okay, well, maybe my books will be movies someday, but not by me. Michael will have the rights to do anything he wants with my books after I cross. And if he wants to pursue that direction, I'm not going to care. I won't be here. No, we're getting some puckering. That doesn't necessarily mean anything good. Are they? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just saw Sean Astin make a speech about AI's stealing of their voices and likenesses without permission and no compensation. And we need laws to govern that, because people spend their whole lives developing careers that are immediately stolen by unscrupulous people trying to get rich off of AI without really doing anything. It's like all these clone sites. Like when you see a site about okay, Depression era foods, right? Yeah, anybody can go ahead and do a search and then use AI to put together a quick thing. But they also, I've noticed, when you have a station or channel that opened up in June and has over 100,000 hits and likes, like, wait a second, what? They're not even 2 weeks old and they got all of these likes? How the hell did that happen? They're not even real people. So those are the kinds of things I'd like to see stopped. Because they're taking other people's stuff and designing their own little made-to-click kinds of things. But the people are completely stealing the works from a bunch of different creators here. So I find that appalling and insulting, and I'm glad that what I do is too uninteresting to be stolen. Does that mean you've abandoned your storyboard? All right, we're getting the proper puckering, and it's not knitting the way it's supposed to. We should be seeing some of this light yellow coming up through the dark, and the dark yellow going through the yellow, and this is not even attached. And look at that. Barely, barely on that. Oh, yeah, that felted right there. Okay. This was felting. Let's just try the yeah. But their water supply is about to run out. Those data centers are going to go dry. And people are fighting back against them. The story hovering in your mind. Oh, do you feel like it's a good enough story? Or do you think that you've changed your direction since coming up with the idea? I have pages of ideas for books. I mean, like literally just one line, a title that tells me everything I was planning on doing on it. But I do not have the time in my life. Even if I didn't do any art, I still wouldn't have time to do all of the writing it would take to cover everything I've come up with to write about. So I'm focusing just on Omaris 3 and The Night the Sky Cracked, which is more of a spiritual thing. Then, if you believe it's a great story, finish it. Share the story with the world while you're still on this planet. Otherwise, someone else is going to do it. Because nothing is just you, all right? When you're thinking about it, you're also talking to the rest of the universe. And people with the same kind of an idea are going to be magnetized. So that's why when you get a good idea, you should jump on it as fast as you can. You have seen and done enough in your life to know. And if you feel like it's a great story, then it is. And also, it's because it's from your viewpoint, you're the only person who can tell it. So I'm going to just encourage you to think about that. Now, I don't know the story, but I know it pops into my mind too, going, I wonder if he's working on it. I wonder if he's given it up. I wonder if he has just gotten too into the video games and wasting time instead of working on his storyboard. Now, I am guilty of doing that myself. Playing a game instead of using that time to write. If I feel bad enough, I do open things up and make some more notes. I do not like where this is going. I think we'll just save this. It's already felted. It's just not felted to anything. So we'll use that as an addition to something else. So because I don't want to be completely frustrated, oh, it's still raining like crazy. We're going to do something else here to test my theory. Now this is the 19 micron superfine merino wool. And I'm gonna need that plastic back. Now, look, this is a very cheap scarf. So I don't mind if I mess it up. But the cool thing about this, I don't like it. I say, you just saw me do, you can peel it off. Well, you know what? Let's wet this down. Soap and water in there. Okay. Now. I'm gonna knot it up. Put that on the floor. Well, I don't want it. All right, this is much finer now, the way I just did that. Problem with the long scarves. The first test I did was, excuse me, on a small square of silk, not a huge scarf. Where did that other piece go? I thought I had two pieces.
Okay.
No. No, 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 that's not the chica. Okay. No, I don't know where it went, but we have to do this very carefully. I have such jelly dong stuck in my head all day. I'm sorry, what the fuck is that? What is a dilly dong? A song, a snack? Oh, silly songs. There's a little typo there. They played Taylor Swift all day. That's amazing. She's so about women's empowerment. Just kind of over news about her. I don't get very much news about her. I saw one headline, but I didn't know if it was real, that Donald Trump crashed her wedding. I didn't even know she was getting married this year. That's what I was about to, I was saying, did she get married? I mean, I knew she was engaged, but usually like every new song, I get a notice and I haven't heard anything. Yeah, I got that. Dilly dong, silly songs. It took a minute. Had no clue what you were talking about till you mentioned Taylor Swift, and I put it together. So did she get married? You sent a photo. Oh, that's cute. A toilet paper roll. That's intelligent. That's, well, it is, you know. Oh, see, I don't do Facebook. Meta is in everybody's ass. So no, I kept Messenger for you guys. And I had to keep my page or a page so I don't lose my Sim City and town thing. Taylor didn't. She was hurt that Taylor didn't invite her to the wedding. Oh, good. Just how big an event was it? I don't know. It seems like they would have a kind of a private affair with a video they could share with their fans. Well, congratulations to her. She'd been looking for that kind of love her whole life. So I'm happy for her. 3 days ago. Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely behind. Like I said, I only saw I'll have to look it up. She's so catchy, though. You mean her music? I love The Fate of Ophelia. I need to hear that again. I was never a Swiftie. It just happened that I caught something that used, oh, it was Sing. I heard Shake It Off through Sing. And when I looked it up, it's like, oh, that's a Taylor Swift song. And then I went and looked up that, and the video was hilarious. And I liked her after that. She's going to have 10 kids and teach them how to dream. I think that's awesome. But I don't think she's going to have 10 kids. She's just so in love. It feels like that right now. And she sees how hard it is to get the weight off after the first one. She's going to slow that down. Kids wear you out. But of course, if you're rich, you can have all the help in your house that you need. As long as she's happy, man, she's earned it as much as anybody else. We're here to have a good time. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, 1 to 2 kids. It's a lot of work, and if they want to keep anything going with their careers, they can't have 10 kids unless someone else is raising them and having them. It takes a lot out of a woman's body. To carry a child for 9 months and then give birth to it is a huge life-endangering event. People just take it for granted that women can pop out kids like it's, oh yeah, well, you're made to have babies. Like, yeah, to a degree. It's from her song. Well, I don't know the song, so. But that sounds like a girl in love for sure. I mean, I couldn't have kids, and I got that urge when I was married, but luckily nothing could come of it because we ended up divorced after 7 years. And he said, you know, in case of a divorce, the woman gets the kids. It's like, really? Fuck that. Think I'm going to raise children by myself? No. No, no. And if you're talking about in case of divorce, we should not be having children. You're not committed. That word should not even pop into your head. Well, as much as I like some of her songs, I don't know all of them. I'm not the kind of person that listens to a whole album. But I love You Better Calm Down. Is that what it's called? You calm down, or You Better Calm Down? Like every queen is in that one. It's hilarious. They all look great. I'm not. Oh, I didn't think you were. No, I did not think anything like that. Like you can love people and also get tired of hearing them all day. And I used to love Deep Purple, but you know, I did like to go to sleep sometimes. Oh, that's good to know. But it sounds like when she wrote that song, she was in love. Yeah, I would not know the difference because, like I said, I only know a few of her songs. I used to like to listen to them over and over. Yeah, that's not working. But that's typical for me because I like to listen to things over and over. Once I kind of catch on to the hook, like, yeah, let's hear it until I wear it out. Well, one side is taken and the other side is still loose. I hear you. Okay, these colors get mixed up. I just lifted it right off. The spiral is going to be right here, stuck to the scarf if I can get it to work. Right now it's not working and I'm getting bored. See that? See, I've got this long scarf here. Ah, lucky you. That sounds good. Flavorful. Good vegetable. All right, I'm going to roll this up. Possibly. Behave yourself. right way. I love the sound. This is Illinois. Okay. I got tired of that. I've been working on that for how long? 2 hours? I wonder I got tired of it. I can sit and wait. I'll have more peppermint tea. All right. I'm going to put these away. Oh, there's that orange there. I don't want. Now, that wallet that I made the other day, I really like how it came out. I will show you. Oh, let me go get this first. Okay. Now, it wouldn't be bad to make a matching wallet to my purse. I could make out of this. This is extremely nice to work with. So here's my wallet. And I made this with the merino wool, so it's very thin. That's 3 or 4 layers right there. It's still very thin. And this folds in. So you can stash things under it, you know, like you can shove money up there and it would be like invisible if you open this. And instead of using any fasteners, I just fold it. And it feels so pretty. Yeah, it feels so nice. So I was thinking of making a few of these as gifts for some of my female friends. You're lucky. Oh, you're talking about the green trees? Yeah, he is. But I have to, I'll have to use the restroom. So I'm going to turn off the microphone. I'll put the song back on to buy me a few minutes, and you don't have to hear the sounds of tinkling in the bathroom. And then I'll be back to contemplate the next project. Now here's the purse I made with that. So if I make a wallet that can slip inside, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, next week, I should get the cording to make this a, you know, a purse with a strap. Oh, so nice. Message retracted. I didn't know you could do that until I saw you do that. Okay, I'm gonna put this on quiet and I'll be back in 2.5 minutes. I didn't turn it off. You got to hear everything after all. That is, honey. I thought I clicked it. I guess I didn't. Oh well. You got to hear all of the house sounds instead. So, considering it's almost dinner time or time to make dinner, and I haven't even decided what I want for dinner tonight, I guess it's a stupid time for me to start a new project. I guess we're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, our resident senior advisor will be back at work, and hopefully she'll print out my posters to tell people about the workshop I'm going to be teaching in how to make food, grow food. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe I will make a wallet with this. I really love this stuff. But it's also really tempting to do it with this other wool I got with the silk. We took a pinch of it off to embellish this one. But I've got another color selection. When I picked it out, it wasn't because I fell in love with it. It was because there were only 4 color choices. And I bought 3 out of 4. Next time I will buy another one. See, this is gorgeous, right? Oh, it is so soft. This whole big bunch is called a sliver of wool. I just don't know what to do with it. It's got gold and silver, well, goldish. I mean, it's a beautiful material. I feel like I'm holding kittens. That one's reserved. This, I love the greens, so I'll have no problem coming up with something like that. This is the tricky one. Now I made one little sample with it. That's this. So it's in the middle. This is just 2 layers. It's got a lovely spectrum here of colors. It's just, I'm not seeing a project in my brain. I don't see myself making a dress or a purse out of it. It was just I have to have it. Well, I'm thinking that what you heard was the other stuff I was doing that was not pee. I had the fan going. I mean, I've got fans all around here. And I was like, you couldn't hear that, but I would want to spare you that. Even though, like, Leslie Nielsen was famous for walking into the bathroom with his microphone on in movies. Consternation. Cyrus is adorable. Why are they running heat in your store? That makes no sense. That's insane. It costs money to do that. Why would they do that? That's alienating to the customers. It sounds like there's something else that's wrong. Yeah, I would wait until it really hit the highest heat and call the health department to come on down. So they're running the heat here. All right, I can see myself using this on top of a solid color that matches this. I don't think I have anything. Oh, maybe the earth tones? Idea. That might be too light. No. That might work. This actually would also work, but I don't like it as much as I think that might work. What do you think? Artists, fellow artists. This is more coarse. This is more like a Corriedale. I don't know what it is because it came from China, but I can tell you it's not this, not New Zealand or silk. That might be a perfect match. I think it is. All right, we know what we're doing tomorrow. Excuse me, I'm gonna make a wallet. We're gonna use that. Now this is the llama. Now the llama does the same as this. It doesn't felt, it shrinks. I mean, it gets pulled up and makes patterns. You saw the big sample I did with that. And this is, what the hell is this? Hold on a second. Ah, that's gorgeous. Okay, this is definitely Corriedale right here. It's like, it's got a little bit of white mixed in. It's very natural brown. Maybe instead of using viscose to make this shrink more, we've got the silk here that's going to do that. We could always throw some llama in these shades of brown. No, I think we'll just leave it. We'll go simple. These are, and I'm starting to look at these like these are scraps. They're not. These are all small samples that I got. Remember when I was sitting here taking wool out of little plastic bags? That's this stuff. I love these things. They're so stretchy. I think I need to buy one of those wheels. Yes, they actually have, they have cat wheels. Absolutely. They're bigger than the guinea pig wheels because cats are taller. I don't imagine you have room in your place for a cat wheel, but they do have them. You need to put up against a wall, I think. Especially when they're first learning how to use it and they get thrown off it. He needs something like that. Cyrus is only 2. He's a young man. He's full of energy. Thank God he was neutered young, because he would be totally off the walls. This is, I just can't stop staring at this stuff because it's like magic. First of all, just felting is like magic, but these materials, these natural fibers, all of it is natural. It's all grown by nature and handled by humans who know what to do with it. And it's some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen. It's sparkly. Yeah, it's just like alive. It's so different from any synthetic I've ever handled. Probably a good idea. Well, check them out. They need to have a surface that the cat can run on without getting its nails caught. Yeah, it's really good for them. And he's got so much excess energy that would do him a lot of good. Just make sure you can put a break on it at night when you go to sleep, or he will be taking out his extra energy at 3 in the morning. And never yell at him about it, or he will do it to annoy you. They're smart little buggers. Oh yeah, I made this to bring downstairs and I totally forgot about it. Well, I'll bring that down tomorrow. Make another one. Oh, that's not bad. Are there any on the island already? It seems to me the shipping would be the biggest bitch about that. Unless Amazon Prime covers that. The only reason I went on Prime was when I first moved here and I needed to order things like a bed. Heavy stuff. It's like, okay, let's get the best deal we can. I ended up actually accidentally buying 2 of the same bed because they screwed up something with the orders and I ended up with freaking 2. So I gave one to my nephew because he needed a bed. I didn't tell him I paid for it. He thinks I got it for free, or he wouldn't have taken it. Oh, will they? Yeah. Charge you for what they paid for the shipping. I think I'll leave it to them. Yeah, I think that we can make this into 3s. We have 2 pet stores on the island. It's more than I had in my town. When I lived in North Carolina, we had our vet. There was no place to buy dog or cat stuff though, outside of what was it called? place that rented stuff that you used in your yard. It was too expensive to own because you may only use it once, like those drums you fill with water and roll to flatten your driveway. There's a chain of them. I just don't remember what it's called right now, but that's where we used to go to get all kinds of animal stuff. They sold stuff for horses and cows. Also had an area for dogs and cats. They sold medicines for them, and I mean it was a farm place. That was it. There was no like Petco or anything like you see in a city. Okay, we have multiple projects for tomorrow. I've got some scraps I can use. I'll make another sheet of bookmarkers, and I will make a wallet tomorrow using this for the base and this for the ornamentation colors, because that'll give it body, which I don't want a whole lot of because it's a wallet that I want to do a trifold. I could do all of this, but because it's multiple colors, it would be the same. I'll lay this out real thinly. Yeah, I think that'll work. Oh, wow. Well, I started getting concerned when it stopped raining, but then it started raining again. It's like, okay, because we're gonna have another heat wave. But today it's cooler. However, something happened with my, I've noticed, even though my air conditioner is not on auto, it changes itself. When I got up this morning, I'm like, I am really warm. What the hell? Because I leave it on all night. And I picked it up and it had switched to an automatic mode, and it was 78 degrees in here. I have it set for 72. It was 78. It said 78 on it. Like I set it to be 78. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe somebody else's programming is affecting my remote. I've never had a remote controlled air conditioner before. I can control it manually by, of course, walking up to it. But it's nice that I can stand on the other side of the room and do it too. So is it raining, or is it just sunny hot hell? Or is it going back and forth? Every time a cloud moves, you get the blast. Cloud covers and then moves again. Oh, same here. I sometimes turn it off when I'm going to be streaming because it's so noisy in here, but it's so humid because of the rain. I have my fan on medium instead of low right now. So you're hearing my loudest. I don't usually ever put it on high, but medium is loud for me. Teaser clouds. That stinks. Well, I hope you get a decent rain. We have flooding. Not right here. Closer to the coast. Where my nephew is, actually. Well, I think I should go and attend to dinner at a reasonable hour. especially because I haven't decided what to eat. I opened up a can of sardines yesterday. I like sardines. Haven't had any for a little while, but it was just plain sardines, little sardines in olive oil. They were the worst sardines I ever had. It was a major brand that begins with a B, and they were squashed together. Some of them were so dry, and they're in oil, by the way. I mean, they're all packed in there like sardines, but you go take the tail off, the whole back comes off because it's so dry. It's like, what the hell did they do to these? It doesn't say smoked sardines, it just sardines in oil. It was not a good batch. It does? Do you have a remote control for yours? Now, see, the only thing it should do on its own is it drops to echo economy setting when the outside temperature gets very close to what it's set for. But it's always set for 72, and it's been in the 90s all week. Today's in the 70s, I think. It'll say 64. Oh, that is weird. It is 68 right now, and rain likely to end around 6:30. We'll see. I think I missed something you said. Hold on a second. Something, you know how the chat moves down to Mrs. Kravitz. It's like, oh, did I miss something about her? You don't hear my fan? You know, I have on two fans. That's probably why you don't notice mine. But yeah, that's right here. The rumbling fanny sound is my air conditioner. I need better fans. Well, you know, that's what I kept saying. And the maintenance guy commented that my fan is going to last years and years. It's already been around for years, and I don't think it puts out a whole lot of volume. Okay, play Scrabble. That sounds good. All right, I'll go play Scrabble and make food, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. I'll see if I can get my desk to stay where it's supposed to. It's been one of those days. Hello. Hi. That was my smiley faces. Come here, smileys. No, go back there. That's it. I love sardines, but I don't like them when they're all like dried out. There's no meat. It's just like, what the hell is this? That's not a good sardine. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you guys eat right.